Be ready. Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I thank you for having given me this opportunity to express my views on the subject under discussion, the working of the Ministry of Energy. Since the honorable member who spoke before took exactly 30 minutes since this is my maiden speech, I would request you, sir, to give me at least 50 minutes. At the outset, I wish to assure you, sir, and all the honorable members here that I am fully aware of the noble traditions of this august assembly, which since its inception has been and continues to be a meeting place of some of the finest intellects in our country, of scholars, statesmen, and towering personalities who have distinguished themselves in diverse fields. Much comments has been made in the press recently about the present infusion of young blood into this house of elders. I hasten to reassure you, sir, and all the senior members here that they need harbor no apprehension on this score. I give you my solemn word that I shall never fail to uphold the dignity, prestige, and decorum of the Rajya Sabha, and I shall do nothing to detract from the house that has been added to it by the luminous personalities who have graced these hallowed portals, who are no longer with us, and to whom I pay my respectful homage as a new entrant. I deem it a great honor to stand here and speak on the floor of the very same Rajya Sabha where 36 years ago in the 1962 our great departed leader rose to make his forceful maiden speech, which electrified the entire nation. While electrified the whole country with his maiden speech, the theme of my maiden speech today is going to be dedicated mainly to the subject of electricity. My leader has sent me here together with my colleagues in the party to echo the voice of the people of Tamil Nadu in this national forum. In particular, I have come here as the representative of the weaker sections of our society, the toiling masses, the crores of humble workers, to give oral manifestation to their feelings and legitimate desires and make them known to the rest of the country. There are many members here who are far more knowledgeable than I am and vastly richer in experience. Some of them might disgrace with some of the views I put forth. I wish to emphasize the fact that the fundamental purpose of my speaking here in the Rajya Sabha is not to engage in wordy duels with other members, but to state positive truths to the best of my knowledge and to draw the attention of the nation to certain crucial issues. Tamil Nadu has been facing acute shortage of electricity for more than a decade. The state government was forced to impose power cuts ranging from 25% to 100% intermittently from 1991 to 1992 onwards to overcome the shortage. As a result of the repeated power cuts, the industrial and agricultural production in the state has been affected adversely and drastically. Tamil Nadu has very meager hydel potential. Most of the economical hydel potential has either already been exploited or is already on the anvil. The balance potential is either tied up in interstate disputes or is too small and seasonal for economic exploitation. The only fossil fuel that is available in the state is lignite, and efforts have already been undertaken to utilize this potential in an optimum manner. Tamil Nadu has almost exhausted its hydel resources and has no coal resources at all. For setting up more coal based thermal stations, there are formidable constraints in that coal has to be hauled over long distances either from Andhra Pradesh or from Bengal or Bihar, rendering the cost too high and the availability of coal uncertain. It was in this context that the state government passed for the location of a nuclear plant in the state, and the government of India was kind enough to concede the demand by sanctioning the Madras Atomic Power Project with a capacity of 235 megawatt in 1967. Later, in 8th 5-year plan, the second unit also with a generation capacity of 235 megawatt was also sanctioned. At the time, there was a clear understanding between the state and the central governments that the entire output from Kalpakkam would be allocated solely to Tamil Nadu to meet the urgent and pressing needs of the state. In the year 1988, when the necessary lands were acquired for the project, the government of Tamil Nadu agreed to make available free of cost 2500 acres of land required for the project. The lands were valued at about rupees 53 lakhs. This commitment was based on the confirmation given by the Madras Atomic Power Project authorities to the effect that in return the entire energy output from the project would be sold to Tamil Nadu.